CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
The legislature today, they made room for 2 more seats on the opposition benches. The NDP welcomed the newest members of its caucus, elected in those 2 by-elections last month.
Welcome and good morning, members. Ms. O'Mahony, Mr. Trasolini, and guests.
Newly minted MLAs Joe Trasolini and Gwen O'Mahony took the oath of office in a swearing-in today. Trasolini won his seat in Port Moody, Coquitlam, O'Mahony in Chilliwack Hope. The former Liberal MLAs in those 2 ridings left to pursue the private sector. The changes today leave the NDP with 36 seats in the House. There are 3 independents and a Liberal majority of 46 seats. One of those Liberal MLAs came unglued in the corridors today. Kevin Kruger had some things to get off his chest, and he didn't hold back, going after his former colleague, John Van Dongen, and NDP leader Adrian Dix. It was the kind of rant that even grizzled members of the press gallery haven't seen in a while.
This guy stands up in the legislature and yammers on about his integrity. So where's the integrity when you're the minister responsible for public safety and you rack up a string of speeding tickets as long as your arm? Integrity is all or nothing. I think John Van Dongen suffers from delusions of grandeur. I'm very annoyed that Van Dongen gets the kind of credence that people give him, also that Adrian Dix does. I've told it that's, as far as I'm concerned, Adrian Dix has a pattern of deceit. But I'd really like people to start giving Christy Clark a fair shake and stop paving the way for Adrian Dix's preposterous attempt to become premier.
Kruger says Van Dongen tried to recruit him to topple former Premier Gordon Campbell in the fall of 2010. Kruger's reply to Van Dongen was that he should resign. He says Gordon Campbell will go down in history as one of the best premiers British Columbia ever had. Liberal communication staff finally talked Kruger into making his way out of the scrum at last. Police have arrested a former Victoria man who's accused of sexually assaulting a child in the capital more than 20 years ago. 66-year-old Yves Poulin was arrested in Quebec and is charged with sexual assault and gross indecency. Vic PD says the victim was a child. The assaults took place over several years, and the victim still lives in Victoria. Special Victims Unit investigators want assault victims to know that even if many years have passed, officers will not stop digging.
The message we're hoping to send is just that, is that regardless of the time lag, that you can report it, we'll take you seriously, we'll believe you, and we'll do our best to investigate and hold anyone accountable.
Victoria Police say the series of sexual assaults was first reported in 1998. The case was reopened in 2009. Poulin will appear in court in Victoria on June 25th. Investigators made the announcement of this at the Victoria Women's Sexual Assault Centre, where counsellors help women who've been assaulted to cope and to potentially take their complaints to police.
Whether it's that they're having difficulty working, sleeping, eating, ways that we can just support them and normalize and validate that what they're going through isn't their fault. A lot of people think that they're going crazy, and we like to really emphasize that they're responding perfectly normally to an intense and crazy situation.
The Women's Sexual Assault Centre estimates only 6% of assault victims ever report the incident to police. And the centre is hosting its annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event this weekend. That's a fundraiser and an opportunity to speak out against sexualized violence. To find out more about that, to make a pledge or to walk, check out walkamilevictoria.com. Well, the fight between the province and its teachers is dragging on. BC school employers are now urging the Labour Relations Board to force the teachers to resume their extracurricular activities. The teachers voted last month to stop participating in off-the-clock activities such as team sports, such as the track meet underway at UVic today, as well as arts programs and grad ceremonies. The BC Public School Employers Association says teachers are violating the back-to-work legislation. The association wants the teachers to continue the extracurricular work and to pick up their administrative duties. The BC Teachers Federation says it has no plans to order its members to participate in any outside-of-the-clock activities. The ferry that runs between Nanaimo and Gabriola Island has broken down, and that has stranded people on both sides of the water. There's a long lineup forming at the Nanaimo Harbour Terminal as people are waiting for word from BC Ferries. The MV Quinsam ran into mechanical difficulty earlier this afternoon, and the sailings have been cancelled indefinitely. There is a water taxi providing service, but it only takes foot passengers and only a dozen at a time. There are many frustrated drivers who may need to book into hotels for the night.
Not even sure if the ferries don't work tonight that they can't leave their cars here. So what are those people going to do?
I'm on foot. It might be a very long night for the people with cars, and now they're told that they can't stay in the parking lot because of Transport Canada rules. So where are they going?
Well, so far, BC Ferries has not said what the problem is or how soon it expects to have it resolved. Arjit Bazzi's at the scene. We'll have an update on the story for you tonight on CTV News at 11. A decommissioned mill in Campbell River caught fire today while there were contractors working inside. They were at the former Catalyst Elk Falls mill, hauling out equipment and taking things apart when sparks from a blowtorch ignited a blaze. Fire crews responded quickly and the building was evacuated. The fire was put out in short time and did not cause significant damage. A coroner's inquest in Campbell River has concluded, with the jury returning late this afternoon. The jury was ordered to classify how a 40-year-old Courtenay man died in 2009. George Alfred Jones died at St. Joseph's Hospital in Comox. He'd been taken into police custody a day before after police received 911 calls about a man acting strangely on a busy Courtenay street. The inquiry heard that Jones was an alcoholic who suffered from seizures and was also taking antidepressants. Late this afternoon, the 7-person jury decided that Jones died of natural causes, fatal cardiac dysrhythmia. Jones' sister sat through the testimony and says much of it was troubling.
It was all quite disturbing. There was a few things that I didn't expect, but like I say, the jurors kind of cleared all that up for me in my mind. So they asked quite a bunch of questions that I had on my mind, so I didn't feel that I had to re-ask those questions.
The jury brought back recommendations relating to the handling of medications when people are taken into custody and suggested that St. Joseph's and all BC hospitals be connected to a province-wide database that includes admittance and all patient and hospital information. A Ladysmith woman has been killed after driving off the road and crashing into thick bushes in Nanaimo. It happened last night on Yellow Point Road in Cedar. A passing driver called 911 at about 6:30. Emergency responders found the woman was unresponsive, slumped over the driver's seat. Police believe she suffered a medical problem that caused her to go off the road. It is not clear whether her death was the result of that medical condition or the crash, or a combination of both. Habitat for Humanity needs your help as it works to make ownership a reality for 2 families in Nanaimo. The group is breaking ground right now on a new duplex, a $500,000 project that is short about $160,000. The build will begin in the coming weeks with the goal of being complete by November, so the families will be settled in to enjoy Christmas in their new homes. Habitat's working to raise the final $160,000 with help from a group of Royal Roads students who designed a website specifically for the cause.
It's called habitataction.com, and you can actually contribute by buying some shingles or buying some paint or maybe buying an appliance or something like that, and make a contribution right on the website and actually see the difference on the home that's created on the website.
This project on Prideaux Street is the first of 2 duplexes Habitat plans to build in Nanaimo over the next 2 years.